Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's hope everything works out with this live stream. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. And let's get started. It's going to be a really wonderful discussion with my favorite people because there's a lot to discuss. There's all this winning. We can't stop winning. This political movement is about winning. That's it. You just keep winning. And as the left keeps saying, oh, we're so much more moral than you. We're so much more worried about the common man. Well, jobless claims are at a record low. Manufacturing jobs over 320,000. Fastest pace in decades. Or no, sorry, fastest pace in what? Like, well over a decade. 300,000 manufacturing jobs lost under Obama. Economy booming at 4.2, and then third quarter, late October, actually, in a week or so, economy might hit close to 5. So tell me how this tell me how this doesn't help the common person, the common American, the average American like me, like you. The Jewish Republican, thank you. When I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, one thing I loved about Bernie was like, the 1% has to pay its fair share. And I was like, yeah, the 1%. Now with Trump, sure, the 1% still exists, but now the bottom 99% has moved up economically. Of course, there are still people out of work. Of course, there are people who don't have access to healthcare. You want to know why they don't have access? Because they don't have the money to pay the $7,000+ out of pocket with the Affordable Care Act. Medicare for all, Medicare, there's $7,600 out of pocket. If you don't have $7,000, you don't have access to healthcare. So a lot of the things I was enamored with when I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, because I felt I was a lot more ethical and moral. Trump is actually taken care of in terms of a booming economy. The tax cuts worked. The tax cuts increased the economic production of the country, helped increase not only the tax cuts, there are tariffs, there are renegotiating trade deals, but that's one step. So President Obama said, well, we're just going to have 2% growth from now on. No, we could reach 4% growth. We need to grow. We have too much debt as a nation not to grow faster than the past decade. We need to have a growing economy. We need to have more jobs. African American, Latino unemployment are at all-time lows. If the rebuttal is, but it happened under Obama, that's irrelevant. So good, great, it happened under Obama. And it continued under Trump, the monster. Trump, the monster, continued a great thing. And you don't know if it would have continued under Clinton. But thank you, 6 kills. Thank you. I like James O'Keefe a lot. I'm a big fan of Project Veritas. He exposed McCaskill so bad. Claire McCaskill, to my Bernie supporters, Claire McCaskill, who still watch me, she was the first dagger in Bernie's back. Not that Bernie Sanders really cares about daggers in his back. He's like, oh, I got daggers on my back. Give me a hug. But that was the first dagger in Bernie's back because Claire McCaskill was like, I just think he's too extreme. She stabbed Bernie in the back before anything. She's like, he's too extreme. And Anyway, she's going to lose to Josh Hawley. You can have 7 to 8. You can have 4 to 8 seats in the Senate. And look at me. Look at me right now. Republicans will keep the House, ladies and gentlemen. Do not believe 538. Do not believe a wonderful man, intelligent man in Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, a great guy. He stated that the polls are real, that Republicans are going to get worked. No, Republicans are going to keep the House and gain in the Senate. Do not believe, Cook or Sabato or all the political reports. Don't believe The Economist. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe all of the establishment. You have the establishment saying that the Democrats are going to retake the House because of history. You can throw history regarding elections in the blue wave toilet because there's a great deal of support for Trump. The playbook against Trump has been the same playbook from 2015 to 2016. The same playbook. It's the same playbook. John James has a very good chance against Stabenow. I mean, you're talking about it could be a thrashing, a real thrashing in the Senate. You're talking about a serious sea change. And now we found out today, James Comey and the FBI knew all along. Breaking: Clinton State Department emails appeared on Weiner's personal laptop. And the FBI knew all along. Wow. Wow. The Hillary Clinton email scandal came to light in early 2016. Actually, in 2015, we know that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton used her personal email server instead of the State Department's email server when she conducted official government business. Well, that she transferred top secret and special access program intelligence outside the United States government. This is townhall.com. Now it came to light. Now it has come to light that a significant number of the 340,000 emails between Hillary Clinton and her staffer, Huma Abedin, were found on former Congressman Anthony Weiner's computer. Abedin and Weiner are married. 340,000 emails. Are you kidding me? How much yoga? How much yoga can you do? The discovery was made after Weiner was found having explicit communication with a teenager. The Southern District of New York was awarded a search warrant to search Weiner's computer. The person searching the laptop found the communication between Abedin and Clinton. The following letter was sent to the FBI. The Department of Justice Inspector General believed it took a month for the information to reach Congress because of Peter Strzok and the official anti-Trump stance, which they outlined in their report. The information was obtained by Judicial Watch as part of a multiple Freedom of Information Act requests. He hid the fact that classified intelligence was on the laptop. We found that out today. He hid that. James Comey and Peter Strzok and Andrew McCabe all knew they were classified. There's classified intelligence. Today we found out without a shadow of a doubt that they knew. They knew. And that's a Washington Examiner article. Sorry, Town Hall article. They knew. And they didn't tell anyone. They knew it and they didn't tell anyone. So that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. We have Judicial Watch received 45 pages of FBI docs revealing that a significant number of the 347,000 emails on the laptop of disgraced former Congressman Anthony Weiner were between former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and top aide Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin had a security clearance at the time. Obviously, Clinton did. They were all pulled recently. A big problem is that the FBI knew. By the way, evidence of Hillary Clinton's national security crimes found by Judicial Watch today. Weiner was married to top Clinton aide Abedin and convicted. FBI found Abedin emails on Weiner laptop with indications the emails went through Clinton's non-state outside server, wowzers, funneled through Cybernet JWIC skiffs onto her server, basement server, then onto Weiner's laptop, Huma Abedin's laptop. What could go wrong? I'm sure this was very normal. You know what James Comey said? It was for the print. That's what he said. Comey, the imbecile, the gigantic, one of the biggest liars in American history. He knew very well that it wasn't to print. He knew very well what they were doing. They were hiding information. She put information outside. She stored information outside the United States government. When she had to use Abedin's laptop, she did. And then that, too, didn't work. JW obtained the docs as a result of a September 2018 Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed after the DOJ did not act on two FOIA requests for Anthony Weiner's laptop investigation docs, including any emails found on the laptop. These new FBI documents include an October 3rd, 2016 email to an FBI official in New York that reads, quote, "Just putting this on the record because of the optics of this case. During the course of my review of a computer seized by Anthony Weiner, a seizure and search of which was authorized by SDNY, I encountered approximately at least 340,000 emails stored on the computer. The large number of emails appear to be a result of a mail client program installed on that computer that pulled emails from servers belonging to both Abedin and Weiner." And this is to the FBI. A significant number of these 340,000 emails appear to be Huma Abedin and Clinton. This is based on simply a review of the header info. They found 18 thus far, but they might have found a lot more today. So just want to bring this to your attention due to the pending election, the ongoing congressional investigation, the FBI's own investigation into Mrs. Clinton's emails activities. The whole thing's coming crashing down. In a related case, Judicial Watch obtained an email revealing fired FBI official Peter Strzok creating the initial draft of the October 2016 letter, then FBI sent to Congress notifying lawmakers of the discovery of Clinton emails on Weiner's laptop. According to the DOJ's Inspector General, the FBI's notification of Congress came a month after the emails were disclosed by the FBI on Weiner's laptop. The IG suggests the delay may have been the result of anti-Trump bias by Peter Strzok and others. These new documents show the FBI knowingly sat on the Weiner email laptop, sat on the Clinton emails for over a month, and did nothing. So we already knew really the insanity here. But today we found out that there were hundreds of thousands of emails. Can you hear us shouting from Texas? Shay. Well, you know what? You will be partying in Texas, hopefully with us. Shay, be here. Be here on November 6th. I say it so often. November 6, 2018. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? What more can I say? What more is there to say? What more is there to say? We're still in the second inning. It's not even, we're in the second inning of a 9-inning ball game. The second inning. It never ends. It never ends. And the email issue is never going to end because it actually threatens the existence of the country. That's not hyperbole. You cannot have a server outside the United States government. If it was Trump, they would say he was writing love letters to Putin. But if you said that about Clinton, you would be a horrible monster. And then they're like, GOP operative wanted info on Clinton's emails. So what? How is that even illegal? It was illegal what she did, not trying to find out about the illegal behavior. So that's not illegal at all. Then you have George Papadopoulos, who's going after everyone. I mean, you have Carter Page, George Papadopoulos. You have a federal employee of the Treasury Department who was just indicted today for illegally leaking information to BuzzFeed. Now, this is not BuzzFeed. This is not whistleblowing. This is anti-Trump, quote unquote, resistance nonsense. So they keep losing. They keep losing, and it's just like a nonstop, endless string of losses. And when they eventually find out that it ain't going to work, that they're not going to win the House, no matter what everyone says. I mean, it's like they don't make any sense, because the same polls that you read now were at 3.9 points in early August. The Democrats are only up 3.9 points. Please tell me what happened with this country where Democrats are now up 13. We have had this was before the meeting with Kim Jong-un. So in August, before the meeting with Kim Jong-un, it was at 3.9 points. Then from there, it shot up to like 10. Well, what happened? It's completely media driven. Completely media driven. Let's go ahead and so you have this email revelation today that they knew that not only was there classified, but 340,000 emails. And the only when they talk about poll numbers for Trump, they need to focus only on poll numbers within the Republican Party, especially for midterms. It's completely irrelevant what his approval rating is nationally, because we're such a polarized country. It's not relevant. 435 districts within 435 contests in the midterms for the House. You need Republican women to like Trump. You don't need, you really don't need women throughout the country in these polls to have a favorable view of Trump. You need Republican women to have a favorable view of Trump, and Republican women to believe Kavanaugh, or to believe that the hearing was an abomination in terms of due process. You need Republicans to show up. There is no generic candidate. So that's another problem with these stupid polls. They're like, well, the generic candidate. Many people feel that they want to pick the generic candidate. If you are answering the phone in the middle of the day on a landline, you're probably going to want the generic candidate to beat Trump. That this is not science. This is the opposite of science. This is public relations and marketing. That's all it is. And it's bad marketing at that. It's bad PR at that. Because they're setting themselves up for, it's just like Kavanaugh. They're like totally setting themselves up for complete and utter failure. Complete and utter failure. And I have no idea why they continue to do it. I really don't. I just have no idea why they continue to do this. They have, instead of simply saying, look, you know, it's a good economy, so it's going to be difficult. They can't do that. They can't possibly say they wasted 2 years. They can't possibly tell Hollywood and all the different factions on the left, oh, by the way, we were all using you this whole time, so hope you don't mind. You know, I hope you really don't mind. Then you get like Avenatti, who then you get Avenatti, who gives this lecture. Let me see if I could go. Let me see if this is hilarious. This is a leader of Democrats. Avenatti is one of the leaders. Like, it's Hillary Clinton and Michael Avenatti. Let me see. Oh shoot! Hold on 1 second. This is a leader of Democrats. That's me, obviously. All right. This is Avenatti telling the country about morality.
It's a sad day in America when the President of the United States calls a woman a horse face.
It's a sad day in America when they fabricate evidence saying that Russia helped Trump win with Facebook ads, and then thrust the country into a new Cold War with Russia simply because Clinton lost after cheating Bernie Sanders and then having Bernie kiss the ring.
Donald Trump should be ashamed of himself. I don't care if you're on the right, the left, or the center. No man should call a woman a horse face, especially the President of the United States. I have 2 daughters. I think it's a disgrace. I don't care what your political persuasion is. You should condemn it as well.
This is in response to a defamation suit that was frivolous and tossed out by the judge, in which now Stormy has to pay Trump's legal fees. And then, of course, everyone's appalled on the left, or the I'm with her crowd. Oh, my God, he said, face of a horse. Oh, no.
It's wrong.
Could you call a man a horse face? I don't know. Is that also off limits? Is that also off limits? Becky Pamplin, HA, what about these Dems that are being exposed by via Project Veritas? Great stuff. O'Keefe is awesome. Project Veritas saying they will promise one thing but do another after elected, just to get the moderate Republican vote. Very scary. Oh, yeah. Well, Becky, in Missouri, you know, if you live in Missouri or West Virginia or Florida, or you live in a state that's like more conservative than the rest of the more conservative than the rest of the country, you're voting for Nancy Pelosi. If you vote Democrat anywhere in the, and that's just it. If you vote Democrat, you're voting for Nancy Pelosi. And that's why, I mean, Claire McCaskill can't say that. You know, she can't, she can't say, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote for Nancy Pelosi. I'm going to vote for Nancy Pelosi. So vote for me, especially because, you know, Trump is mean. Trump is mean. And Trump is mean, and he tweets, and he's just a mean person. So you can vote for this Democrat because, you know, we're different. We're like moderate Republicans, not. And that's what James O'Keefe basically did. He has a rebuttal too he has a rebuttal too. So this is great. Senator McCaskill. Senator McCaskill accuses a Republican opponent, Josh Hawley, of being part of Project Veritas sting, which he wasn't. This is so great. As if she didn't have enough problems. McCaskill. Appoint special prosecutor to look into undercover video. Claire McCaskill and hopefully James O'Keefe sees this somehow and can include this in the rebuttal. Claire McCaskill is a hypocrite. Claire McCaskill knows very well that Stephen Halper was planted inside Trump's campaign as a spy. And the U.S. government paid what? Over close to $1 million. I think around $1 million. Almost, around $1 million to this guy. Stephen Halper was one of the people. I think he also reached out to George Papadopoulos. He was one of the people who was hired to spy on Trump's campaign, embedded in Trump's campaign. That's what President Obama presided over. Josh Hawley doesn't have anything to do with the O'Keefe Project Veritas video. But if McCaskill calls on a GOP opponent to appoint special prosecutor to look into undercover video, then she's a hypocrite for going along with the Mueller probe. The whole thing with the Russia investigation of the Mueller probe are spies implanted within Trump's campaign, and he didn't even have to work with Hawley. It still doesn't help McCaskill anyway because the cat's out of the bag. We already know. Sean, thank you. Donald Trump's good month. October has already been a good month. His Gallup rating is at 44% nationally, higher than Bill Clinton's. Wow. Higher than Ronald Reagan and on par with Obama. Wow. That is fantastic. And you have this just when the Democrats are, I mean, the Democratic Party needs some kind of new scandal. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Samuel Stafford. Thank you, Samuel. Please, Samuel, November 6, 2018, be here with everyone. We're going to party. I'm going to start early in the morning, like 6 a.m. Pacific, California time, and we're going to party into the night, November 7th. I'm talking like into like 1 in the morning. And we're going to do it all over again, November 7th and 8th. Samuel Stafford, thank you so very much. Everyone, thank you. Samuel, thank you again. It's going to be a really beautiful, beautiful time because they will have given everything they had. They will have sold their soul to the devil. They will have already sold their souls to the devil. McCaskill threatening to go after. McCaskill can't do anything. Because that, and then the discovery phase is, oh, look, McCaskill and her staff are bigger phonies than we even thought. That's what happened when Jared Beck, Elizabeth Beck, and Nico House went after the DNC, and everyone on the left didn't talk about it because they were so afraid. Because the DNC basically controls all of the left, even the people who claim, like, not all, but even most of the people who claim not to be Democrats. In Missouri, in West Virginia, in Montana, it's not San Francisco. It's not New York. They don't want pure hatred of Trump. The pure and unadulterated hatred of Trump. And without a scandal, the Democrats are nothing. And James O'Keefe, if Claire McCaskill is really so open about her policy positions, why isn't she similarly open of what her campaign staff alleged, that, quote, the people can't just know, and she and Obama have the same views, that she's quiet on guns because she has a bunch of Republican voters? If you're a Republican, I'm just going to say this with all due respect, and you could put me on record as saying this. I'm going to say this with all due respect and not to offend anyone. If you're a Republican in Missouri and you vote Democrat, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. Because as somebody who cares about the Second Amendment, and I do, I'm part of the Gun Owners of America and the NRA, and I wrote an article in the Daily Caller that the NRA retweeted, and the Gun Owners of America retweeted a guns.com article on me and that article, why I used to write about gun control. Now I'm very much a supporter, will always be for my whole life, a supporter of the Second Amendment. There are people who support the Second Amendment like I do in Missouri. And they're generally Republican. And if you're a Republican and you vote for Claire McCaskill in Missouri, you're a fool. You're voting for, if you're a Republican and you say, well, she's different from Nancy Pelosi. No, she's not. She would ban all semi-automatic, not just rifles, very, very likely handguns also, which was DC versus Heller struck down. No, that was another. DC versus Heller is the landmark self-defense of a handgun in DC that upheld the Second Amendment. But I mean, you're a fool. If you're a Republican in any of these states, you're an absolute fool if you vote Democrat. And I don't care about the John Kasich and the Ben Sass, the foolish Ben Sass, and the sad, pathetic Jeff Flake type people. Oh, well, I don't really like Trump's personality. Oh, well, you might not have the best personality yourself. Guess you know who doesn't have a really nice personality? Clinton. Have you ever heard of Hillary Clinton? She doesn't really have the best personality in the world. Samuel Stafford, thank you again. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you. Just want to thank you. If you talk to Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, by the way, Clinton was a pro-gun churchgoer. She's like, my dad taught me how to shoot a gun. This was when she was running against Obama. Because Obama actually made, and then he clowned her, and he said, he called her Ernie Oakley. See, that was good. That's why Obama was channeling his inner Trump. Obama called Clinton Annie Oakley because Clinton pretended that she was, this big Second Amendment person. When he says that someone has the face of a horse, it's funny. It's funny. People laugh. It's like the left doesn't realize that the rest of the country is laughing at them because they're offended at everything. Okay? So Reverend Louis Farrakhan today had a tweet or something, and he made an offensive statement. He put the word termites and then Jewish people in the same tweet. I saw the tweet. I don't think he was even comparing termites, but I wrote 2 tweets. I said, look, I don't care because I'm not a termite. I'm not an insect. So what do I care? What do I care? I'm not going to go, social justice warrior and say, oh my God, no, I don't care. I wrote on Twitter, I have no animosity at all. Okay? I don't even know. Actually, it's very difficult to read what the tweet meant. But it's like, I don't really care. I have too much going on for me to take energy. You called me a termite? I'll have you know I'm not a termite. I got to keep my banner page just because I started out like that, and I did write 100 articles, and I guess that's the origin. Well, I was right. I actually was published close to 100 times in the Huffington Post, even before. And I was on MSNBC even already once on Lawrence O'Donnell, if you can believe it, even before Bernie. But James O'Keefe is awesome. He's really, really awesome. That's what they do. The Democrats, okay, there are certain, perhaps like Bernie Sanders, yeah, he does want Medicare for all, but Pelosi does not, Schumer does not, the power does not, and the power structure doesn't care at all about doesn't care at all about Medicare for all. They're doing it simply to deceive people, like they usually do, because they have nothing to stand for, which is why they don't say, oh, bring home our soldiers from war. So that's why. That's why. Democrats are masters and just very skilled and very adept at deception. They love to deceive. They love to deceive. And many on the left go willingly. They love to deceive. Latest Gallup approval rating, 44%, a net rise of 11 points over the last month. Wow. Well, maybe it was just always that way. Maybe they just couldn't manipulate everything to the point of absurdity. So McCaskill threatening to go a rifle ban. You see, that's the thing. I mean, if you're in Missouri and you vote for McCaskill, you're an absolute fool. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, you're not. You're fine. So David Kaplan, wait till the last minute to vote to make the Democrats melt down. That more fun on AJ's show November 6th. David Kaplan, thank you, David. I hope all is well. Thank you. Samuel Stafford, thank you very much again. Thank you, Samuel. Eric Neff, place this on. Oh, place this on. Eric Neff. I went with my dad like 20 years ago because my grandmother used to live in Florida. And we were visiting my grandma, and we went to the Greyhound races in Hollywood, Florida. Greyhound races. And I picked like this, this like big Greyhound. I'm like, oh, that's definitely going to win. And the little small one like won the whole race. I was like, how does that work? How does the little small Greyhound, defeat everyone? But that's what happened. The Greyhound races are awesome. PMC, November 6th Beer Fund. I'll be here eating some and drinking whiskey infused with liberal tears. Yes, Reddit. Be safe, everyone. Be safe. If you're drinking on November 6th, be home. And what can I tell you? It's going to be awesome. It is going to be so awesome. It is just going to be so awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be really interesting. PMC, thank you. Eric Neff, thank you. David, thank you. Samuel, thank you. I say this with respect and admiration to the Bernie Sanders supporters who still watch me and the Jill Stein supporters who watch me. The Democratic Party is going to come after you on Twitter, on social media, November 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th. So just ignore everyone. George Papadopoulos, just now, the Trump campaign was infiltrated by Western intelligence and sabotaged. Wow. And this is what we've been saying forever. How many times have I spoken about GCHQ? How many times have I spoken about the Steele dossier in MI6 or the MI6, former MI6 in Christopher Steele? So they are going to blame Bernie Sanders again. Dodgers-Astros World Series rematch. That could be really amazing. Dodgers have to get revenge. I got to say, the Astros have a good team. The Dodgers, man. Dodgers are doing great. One. Wow. Dodgers lead 3-2. Yasiel Puig's awesome. There's a lot of talent. A lot of talent on the Dodgers. A lot of talent. A lot of amazing players. No. It's just a fossil. It's just a fossil. But let's see. Let's see. Let's see what so the midterms are going to be interesting. Did they spend $1 billion, Democrats? They'll lose again, which is hilarious. Democrats, billion, midterms. Democratic candidates for Congress have raised a record-shattering $1 billion. Yeah, no kidding, because the DNC is like bankrupt almost. Well, the DNC only got what, 116 million, while the RNC got 250 million, broke records there. Democratic candidates running for Congress this year, that really doesn't matter. They're going to lose anyway. The $1 billion raised through September surpassed nearly $900 million collected by Republicans for Congress in 2012. Republican candidates raised $709 million through September. Not going to be a problem at all. Don't even worry about it, because you have a $150 million advantage anyway, and you have to go with the RNC. While fundraising shows remarkable strength on the part of Democrats, it remains to be seen whether the final advantage can translate to electoral success. Of course it won't. They outspent Trump 2-1 and lost. You can't. There's not enough money. You can spend literally $1 billion telling people that Nancy Pelosi is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being, and no one's going to care. They're going to be like, that's a lot of posters for something I don't believe in. Julio, thank you. Z-Lord Raptor, thank you so much. HA for President 2024. Thank you, Z-Lord Raptor. Thank you. They have nothing. The same. The polls are just. Their polls are actually even worse. They're even worse this time around. They are even worse. All right, let's go. Let's see this. So, You know why? Because Michael Bloomberg gave $80 million. That's why. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, he gave 20 million, I think 80 million total. Steyer gave money too, but see, the money is like, this is not grassroots. In terms of the grassroots money, Trump outraised the Republicans, outraised Democrats. HA for President 2024, you'll drain the swamp. Thank you, Z-Lord Raptor. Thank you. Thank you. Z-Lord Raptor. Let's see here. A couple things. So after Republicans keep the House, gain in the Senate, because they're going to gain big time, eventually after that, you'll see Clinton get indicted. Pick a crime, any crime. Campaign finance. I wrote an article on that in the Daily Caller. Taking money from, taking classified intelligence from Sipper Javickson's gifts onto an unencrypted server, once unencrypted server. And then we found out today from Judicial Watch, over 300,000 emails from Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton on Weiner's laptop outside the U.S. government. Again, well, of course, all the emails were outside the U.S. government, but on a person who would eventually be a convicted felon's laptop. So Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg donated $210 million. That is not indicative of a grassroots campaign. So let's see what Nancy Pelosi stated recently.
Owe the American people to be there for them, for their financial security, respecting the dignity and worth of every person in our country. And if there's some collateral damage for some others who do not share our view, well, so be it, but it shouldn't be.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. God bless. This was a great, great session. The Bot 2007. Okay. I don't think so at all. The Bot 2007, I think that situation has less to do with Trump and a whole lot to do with the country who committed that heinous crime. But again, they're going to try to. This is so far removed from Trump that they really can't, Luke St. Martin, thank you. Eric H526, thank you. They really can't link it to him. To my super chat, thank you so much, very much, everyone. Samuel Stratford, thank you. Thank you, Samuel Stratford, thank you. Jolene K, Jolene, thank you so much, Jolene. Thank you. The Bot 2007, thank you. God bless. Everyone here, thank you so much. You are all invited. Please, please, please be there. November 6, 2018. Thank you so much.